And I'll send you this recording.
All
But
right.
yeah, I wanted to go over basically a couple of things. I want to do um, just a real quick kind of tutorial on
Hmm.
some things. And I want to show you basically multi-body modeling, which is kind of the method that we use to do a lot of the designs that we work around.
Okay.
So, like with um, the circuit boards that I'm going to give you to kind of clean up and redo, if we open up one of those, let me see here. Like if we open up one of those models, so I think this, let's see here. So yeah, so I've got one of these models here, and this is kind of how exactly they'll come from the electrical engineers.
Okay.
So, and you can kind of see actually if we reorient this in our coordinate system, the board itself is not really oriented perfectly
Yeah.
the way that we would want it. But that's actually okay. Because we could actually come here and do a new part. Um, and we'll just, I want to show you a couple of things. So we do this a lot. We open up a new part. So this is just a new part here. And I'll just save this. I'm just going to save all this to training. And then I think I have a Hyundai training project. Or yeah, we could just do this. So we can just say training part. Um, so one thing we like to do is we kind of use SolidWorks a little bit differently than they'll probably teach you in school. And that's and the way we use it is kind of is we kind of think non-linearly with it. But
Okay.
anyways, we will in the part we can create a new part document here, and we can insert part, and so we can actually insert parts within parts and then build upon those parts. And this is kind of the basis of what we do a lot of times. So if you go to insert, you can come down here to part if you're in a fresh part. And you can do this at any point uh, during the modeling. But here we'll just pick one of the circuit boards that we've gotten from the electrical engineers, and we'll just try to insert that into this part here.
Okay.
And we can probably, yep, just keep all those options the same. And then we'll get this option here to locate part, and we want to choose constraints, and we'll kind of orient this part. See, now we've got a fresh coordinate system here. We've got our own
Yeah.
coordinate system, so we're actually able to um, bring in this part and orient it to. Okay, so see, these are the base part, the training part. Um, these are its planes here. So actually, what we want to do is we want to take this right plane and mate it with the right plane, and that looks fine. And we want to take, okay, so that's the mid plane, and we probably want to bump that up here, flip this around. Okay, so we're kind of getting somewhere. And then there should be like kind of like a plane in the middle here where we can, I think what we can do, okay, so that's already mated. Okay, so what we need to do here is this plane to the top plane, and we'll just bring that here. And then we'll just hit the green check mark and we'll say, yeah. Okay, so now check it out. We've got the USB-C port here. Let me turn off all this stuff. And that's kind of oriented correctly the way we want it to.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can just kind of come in here and like, I'll just hide all these planes. Okay, so now we've got like kind of a fresh start. Okay, and there's our base model planes. I brought those to the surface. So we're kind of ready to start. We can make an enclosure around this part now. So this will kind of, I'm going to kind of show you a couple of things here. So we've got a couple of holes that we could put screws through, right? So they're radius 1 millimeter, which means the diameter is 2 millimeters. So these would be a 2 millimeter or an M2 screw that we could put through these holes. And we got some like other features here, you know, that we could probably use to locate the board. But I'll just go ahead. Let's just create some what we call screw bosses. So screw bosses are little like cylinders that the screw will actually like screw into, right? So you'll see here. So I'm actually just going to create like, I'll just come here and, okay, it looks like this plane is kind of bisecting this a little bit. So let me just double check this model. Like all these surfaces are flat. Okay, so that's a flat surface because it's giving us a normal distance. Yeah, that's a flat surface. Okay, so I can actually use this surface here to sketch on. And what we'll do is I'll come in here and I'll draw a circle. And I'll just make it, you know, slightly bigger than the hole. But see, it's running into this component here. So we want to kind of bring it in, be mindful of like what's on the board and stuff. And we'll actually we'll give it a dimension here. We'll say like, oh, this is in inches. We want to be in millimeters. Millimeters. So let's say, yeah, 3.5, that looks good. Okay. So then what we'll do here, we'll say, okay, we'll come up here to extrude. Usually if you have the sketch, if you exit out of the sketch and you just do extrude, it'll just automatically do it. And so let's say we'll go like 5 millimeters. So this is the first really important thing that we do. So there's this checkbox right under this boss extrude that says merge results. So if you uncheck that, you can actually, this will become a separate component within the part. It'll be its own feature, and I'll show you what to look for here. So we can say, we'll just say we're not going to merge the result, and we'll just extrude that. And if you look here, there's a folder called solid bodies, and you'll see there's now 2 solid bodies. So we have our board, which is one solid body. And I actually spent a lot of time getting this board to be one solid body, so that we could bring it into other parts and do exactly what we're doing here. And so we've actually got a new version of this board that will need to make one body. And I'll show you kind of how to do that in a little bit. But anyways, so and then we've got this boss extrude that's its own thing. So like when we select it, it just highlights that extrude that we just did. And now they're completely independent parts. And we can do some other this opens up some new things. So and we could just keep doing that actually. So we could like come over here and do the same thing. And you know, do like a 3.5 millimeter screw boss, and then extrude it, you know, 5 millimeters, and we don't have to merge the results. See, if we merge the results, what happens is, okay, we have two solid bodies now, right? So we have this boss, and then the board, and you see how it highlights that board now. So that, because that boss is touching the board, you know, it makes it all one solid body. So see, that's why we don't exactly want that, because I'll show you here. We'll unmerge that result, and I'll show you here what we can do. So we can say, we'll just do a sketch on here, because these will connect, and we'll just make a base. And let's say, let's actually say, well, we want to get this base a little bit closer to this USB port, so we'll push it up through here. And we'll just say, yeah, like 3 millimeters, like that's fine. Now we can merge the results, and it'll combine our base with the screw bosses, right? But actually, if we come down here to feature scope, we can select exactly what we want to merge with. So if we don't select that one and we only select this one, when we look at our solid bodies, okay, now we have 3. So we have the circuit board, we have this boss, which we didn't merge with. We told it not to merge. It's not within the scope of the last feature that we just did. And we have this one, right? And so see, that boss is now merged with that base. So we could actually just come here and at any time change the feature scope here by clicking in this box, and we can select that one. So now what we have is the base with the bosses and the circuit board. Does that make sense? It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'll show you, we can actually like come in here and let's actually like give this some dimensions and make this like somewhat representative. Let's do this. So we can go from here to here. Oh, see? Okay. So see, I'm trying to set this line, which this is a perfectly horizontal line. I'm trying to set it some distance away from this edge, but look what's happening.
Yeah.
They're not parallel.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem with these models that we get from the electrical engineering firm. They're not always parallel. So what we can do is just like from this point, basically, we'll just hover over this edge here until we can grab this point. And I'll just say from this point, like let's do 3, and then we'll do this. We'll look at the same thing here. Okay, so that's actually okay, so that's actually parallel. So we'll do 3, and the same thing over here. 3, and the same thing here. We'll just three, and maybe I'll add a a fillet, 2 millimeter fillet, and I'll actually just select this fillet. I'll type 2 here, and then I'll actually just drag a box over the sketch, and then boom, 4 fillets. Check it out. And then if I want, I can come in here and say, oh, actually, wait, no, I can't do that. I can't edit that. Okay, so we'll do like 4 fillets. Okay, boom, done. And actually, here, what I want to do, let's make this. So I want to actually change this dimension here, the height of this base. So I'll just actually select this base. I'll just select some face on it. I'll click on it. And you'll see here, we'll actually be able, like, we'll actually be able to see the defining dimensions for this feature. And here's the height, and I'll just say, let's make that 2, and I'll hit enter. Oh wait, Control B, Control B like updates the rebuilds the model.
Okay.
And I'll kind of do the same thing here. Like let's bring this closer, and let's say like this is 3 millimeters. Okay, so and this one's also 3 millimeters. Enter, Control B. Okay, cool. Okay, looks like we might be a little bit too close. So let me call this like, let me call this 3.5 millimeters. Control B. Okay, half millimeter away. That looks good. Okay, that looks pretty good. So does that all make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Pretty simple stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So check this out. I want to show you another cool feature. So let's do a lid. Let's build a lid for this thing.
Okay.
Okay, so how about we know that the lid, we actually want the lid to like completely enclose, we'll just call this the back plate, right? Um, we want our lid to completely enclose it. And this will form the bottom surface of our enclosure. So let's see, I'll just do a sketch back here on the bottom. And how about we use this offset entities command, and we say like 2 millimeters, and we offset this whole area here. We'll bump it out 2 millimeters. Okay, so pay attention to this little yellow arrow here, what direction it's pointing. Because if it's going inside, it'll inset the offset. We want to outset it basically. So okay, there's 2 millimeters. All right, cool. So check this out. So let me think about this. Yeah, so what we can do here is let's drag this up and we'll say, oh, okay, yeah, that looks pretty good. We'll go like 8 millimeters. Okay, we're not going to merge the results. And we'll say, okay, so boom. So now we've got this whole thing kind of enclosing it. Let's give it a nice little lip. Oops, what did I do? Give it a nice little lip. We'll call it like 3 millimeters. Okay, so now what we can do is we can do intersect. So we can say intersect this with, no, actually, I'm sorry. Let's do this first. Let's shell. Let's do a shell. So I'm going to say here 3 millimeters. So this will make a uniform wall thickness. This will hollow out. This is going to hollow out this top block that we just did.
Okay.
So if we just look at this top block here, so we can come here and say isolate, and it'll hide everything else but the thing that we clicked on. So this is just a big old solid dumb block, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we want to actually like carve it out. So let's shell it out. So I want this face. We'll remove this face, and we'll give the thickness of the walls. We'll make them 3 millimeters, and so it's gonna basically hollow this out like that. And so now it has an inside. And actually, if we come here and we make this greater than the wall thickness, this radius, let's call it like 4 millimeters. You'll see we'll actually get a corresponding interior fillet here.
Okay.
That's just, you don't need to worry about that. That's just something special. And then, okay, let's exit isolate. Okay, so our base plate is actually still interfering with our top cover, right?
Yeah.
So what we can do here is let's do an intersect where we intersect the front cover with the base plate, And then, okay, so we're given 4 regions, and basically this will take the 2 interfering parts and break them up into separate kind of regions, and we can eliminate regions that we don't want.
Okay.
So I already know right off the bat, there's going to be a region here where they intersect. Actually, do I want to do that? Okay, well, let me see here. No, let's not do intersect. Let's do this. So let's cut this in half like this. And you see we've got, this is one body, one solid body. This is one solid body. This is the second solid body, and it's actually interfering a little bit down into the first solid body. And then we've got the board here. So what we can do is, let's just do a sketch on this, and we'll actually select this. And then let's just, we'll select this face and see how it selects. It's actually selecting the base plate.
Yeah.
We'll just say convert entity, and it'll trace around the actual base plate. So boom. We can do that, and then we can do a cut extrude. And this is where feature scope really comes in handy. So feature scope down here, we don't actually want to cut away the material that, hold on, let me just share SolidWorks for a second, because my computer's slowing down.
All right.
Okay, I think that's gonna work. Okay, so if we do this extrude cut, it'll actually just cut through all of our solid bodies. It doesn't really, we've said feature scope. I mean, it defaults basically to all solid bodies if we don't select anything. But what we want, actually, we could go through everything. But actually what we want is really just this front cover, and we don't actually want it through all. We just want it, let's just call it like 3.2 millimeters. And so you'll see what we've done is just cut around the base plate. So now the base plate will fit perfectly in to the front cover. And that'll be it. But actually, I think what we want to do here is just make this the same height. I forgot what the height of this was. Okay, so 2 millimeters. So we can come down here and make this, let's just make this like 2.1. Say Control B. Okay, so that updated that. And I think actually what we want to do here is, let's cut away a little bit more. Let's say offset entities. We'll select this boundary, and let's just say, let's just make it like 0.2 millimeters. So you see, it's just, there's a slight little gap here.
Okay.
There's a slight little gap because we don't want things perfectly touching. Like if we want a little bit of clearance between our parts.
Yeah.
So does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So if we look at that now, okay, yeah, so see our base plate should fit real nice. Should fit real nice in our enclosure, but I think what you'll see is like if we hide this part and then we cut, let's do this. Cut along here and let's look at our USB port. Uh-oh. Yeah, see, I thought it would
Yeah.
interfere. So let's do this. Our shell, the shell thickness is probably too thick here. So let's go ahead. Let's edit that. Let's make that 2 millimeters. And I bet you. Okay, so see, now we have a very slight lip. Let's go back to how we define this. Edit sketch. So does that, okay, so actually, does that make sense how we're going back here? So I'm selecting on this feature.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just click on it, you get this separate menu that pops up here.
Okay.
You can edit the feature, which is like the extrude feature, or you could edit the sketch that defines that feature.
Okay.
So you come in here, you're editing the sketch. And what did we actually base this off of? Oh, okay, yeah. So let's do like 1 millimeter. And that way, yeah. So what I did there was this offset actually tells me how far that front cover comes off of that base plate or how much bigger. See, that's offsetting at 1 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
So this from here to the center line is basically 1 millimeter longer than or 1 millimeter wider than the base plate is from the center line, right? We're
Okay.
offsetting at 1 millimeter. So we have this 1 millimeter lip all the way around the base plate. And so you see now, let's just turn off our planes here. I mean, we can come in here actually, change the transparency of that all. I mean, we've got a nice little electronics enclosure. I mean, we still need to come in here and actually be able to access this
Yeah.
board. But I mean, right now, you could 3D print this and it would probably, almost snap together. And you could, um, use it as an enclosure, right? Let's
Yeah.
go ahead and finish our um, screw bosses here. Okay, so you see there's actually not a hole for a screw.
Yeah.
So I want to show you, and hold on, give me 1 second. Let me get this real quick. Um, Let me show you kind of an engineering workflow. So we know we've got a 2 millimeter hole here, but we can't actually put a 2 millimeter diameter screw in that hole
Mm-hmm.
because it would hit the sides of the circuit board. So we have to go like a little bit under. So I'm gonna actually share my whole screen here so we can go to the internet, and I want to introduce you to a website called McMaster Car. Have you ever heard of McMaster Car?
No.
Okay, so um this is like a more mature version of Amazon. This is like the toy store for engineers, and they have everything that you would want to build anything out of. So like bearings, you can come in here and choose all kinds of industrial parts, and you've got, you know, like look at all the different types of bearings you can get.
Wow. Okay.
And then look, like you're like, oh, I have this 3 millimeter shaft on, an RC car, RC plane or something, and I need to connect it to something that has, or I got this 3 millimeter shaft. I need to put a bearing on it.
Yeah.
What are my options? So you can actually just come here, system of measurement, metric, 4 shaft diameter, 3 millimeters, and then it shows you all the bearings that you can buy that have that would take a 3mm shaft in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could buy all these bearings. So anyways, we'll go back out. So what we really want to look at, what we're really here shopping for is a screw. And so, you know, we got a ton of options here for screws, right?
Yeah.
I'll keep it simple. And we want a tapping screw. This is 99%, 90% of the time, this is what we're using for plastics. A tapping screw, and then we'll come in here and we'll say metric. And you'll see here that they'll have okay, yeah, here we go. Thread forming screws for plastic. So these are the screws that are in every plastic part that you'll find. You know, all the you know, the toys,
Softgun, yeah.
yeah, appliances, all that stuff, all those like little recessed holes, and you find
Mm-hmm.
those little screws in them. There are these type of screws. These are those
Okay.
types of screws. So we always go to McMaster-Carr, screws and bolts. I like tapping screws. We want metric tapping screws. And then there's another option here. Like you don't have to come here and pick it here, but it'll ask you, what do you want to use this screw in, this
Mm-hmm.
self-tapping screw? And plastic will be one of the options, right? But here we can kind of just filter our results, right? So we've got a 2mm hole. We need a screw slightly under 2mm. We're gonna pick the M1.6, and we need we want Phillips head, because that's easy. Everybody has a Phillips head
Yeah, yeah,
screwdriver. And let's do, we don't need flat, because the flat head screws, they're tapered like this
yeah.
on the bottom. So we want a round head screw because it's just flat on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do round. Okay. So here we've got some good options, and you'll see this link's purple. I've actually already used this screw on an application in the past. But what
Okay.
we'll do is we'll come here. I say, yeah, all right, that's fine. Product details, check it out. Okay. Wow, that thing is tiny.
Yeah.
Um, dude, SolidWorks. They'll give you the model. Download it. Here, check it out. Oh yeah, see, look, I've already downloaded one of these before. This will open up in here. I already have the model of the screw. So what are we going to do here? Well, first of all, there's some information on that website.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take another look here. Look, they got all this great information about this screw here. Okay, so we want to have a hole that this goes into, right? The screw is going to make its own threads in a plastic hole, in a plastic part.
Mm-hmm.
But that hole is not 1.6mm. It's not actually the diameter of this thread here, the max diameter of the thread. We actually want to come in a little bit. We want to like that hole, we want to have some material to bite into, right?
Yeah.
So it tells you it tells you the diameter, it tells you in inches here. It tells you the diameter of the hole that you want to thread this screw into. So it's 0.052 inches. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
just pull up my calculator here and I'll say 0.052, and I'll convert this to millimeters. So 0.052 inches times 25.4 millimeters to an inch. That gives
Mm-hmm.
me 1.3mm diameter hole. Okay. So
Okay.
that is some good engineering information. We've got the hole size for this 1.3. So we'll come in here, we'll sketch a, let's see. By the way, too, a little handy thing with SolidWorks, right click and hold, and you can drag. So right click, hold the right mouse button, drag it over to the left, you get a line. Drag it
Okay.
over, drag it over to the right, you get a circle. Drag it down, you get a rectangle. Drag it up, you get a dimension.
Okay.
So that's just a really handy thing. So what do I need? I need a circle here. And actually, what I need to do, there we go. I need to grab the center of that. And actually, I want to do the same thing over here. Grab the center of that. Okay, so now we've got this sketch. Actually, I'm just going to select both these circles. Why can't I do this? I'm going to select this circle and this circle. Huh. Well, there's... Okay, if you select both circles and you don't move your mouse, this menu will pop up. And what you can do is you've got a couple of options for constraining or defining the sketch. So here I actually just want to make these circles equal to each other because I'm lazy and I just want to dimension one of them. Okay, so we actually got pretty close here. 1.4, we want 1.3. Okay, cool. So I'll just come over here to features and I'll just say cut extrude. And I mean, we could go all the way through. I mean, we could go all the way through, but that wouldn't make our enclosure. It wouldn't really enclose because I think water could get in. So let's go blind, like we'll go down like 2 millimeters. Okay, so now we've got a hole for our screw. We've got the boss. So this is our base plate. Oh, what the heck? That little thing. Oh, it's a surface body. That's weird. So yeah, this is our base plate. This is our front cover. And it fits nicely. If we look at it, yeah, we should be able to fit the circuit board in there. Now, actually, let's take another look. Just make sure. Okay, yeah. We're good. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna hide this. And actually, so I showed you the insert part feature. Let's do that again with the screw and just double check all our stuff. I'm just gonna set a couple things up here. Like I want to put an axis right here. So I just select this cylinder. And I come up here and I say axis, and it just puts an axis right there. Okay, so that'll help me.
How'd you get your what's it called set up to look like that? Your
Oh
SolidWorks?
yeah. So I think that's in tools. You come down to options, and then I think it's like display. No, where is it at? General MDT. There's if you look around, so you can right click. I would right click in the ribbon here. Maybe it's customized. Yeah, there you go. So here you can choose the icon size, shortcut bars. Now, here, all toolbars will give you all the commands, and you can literally just drag and drop these into your ribbon here.
Okay.
And so what I have is I can't remember what the default ones are, but the ones that I definitely add, I use a lot, are combine 2 or more solid bodies to create a single body or multi-body part. Intersect I use a lot. Split I use a lot. Delete, keep body. Move, copy body, I do that a lot. Mirror, I don't know if mirror is on there, but I throw mirror up there. That's super useful. Should just be default. Move face and scale. I don't use these two that much, but they come in handy every now and then.
Okay. Let me set this up real quick.
Okay.
If it launches. There we go. It's the after. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Can't figure out my SolidWorks.
What's that?
Can't figure out my SolidWorks password. Let me find it. All right. Part. What add-ins do you have downloaded?
Oh, add-ins.
Yeah.
There's a McMaster car add-in that allows you to pull down all the 3D files while you're working. You don't have to go to the actual website.
Okay.
But I think it only works in an assembly. But add-ins, let me see. I
Do I
don't
need
know that I have.
simulation?
I do have simulation. You don't need it. I can show you how to run that. That's some very advanced engineering, like stuff you learn like later in your undergrad. But no,
Okay.
all I have turned on, and honestly, you don't need any of this stuff turned on because like I don't use any of this stuff. I don't know
Okay.
why 3D Experience is turned on and Composer. I have no idea what that does. Definitely don't want it on startup. Um, but yeah, I don't have any of this stuff turned on. Hardly.
So, sketch features, customize. As, small will be fine. So you got shortcut bars. You have
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
how do you add?
these guys down here. So selection filters. So
Okay.
I think what you can do is toolbars here. You can right click anywhere and scroll down in toolbars. I like selection filter. I turn that one on.
Okay.
I also turn well, let's just go through this. View heads up, your heads up. I think it's turned on by default, but if you don't have it turned on,
Yeah, it is.
you really need it. So view
Okay.
heads up, task plane, obviously everybody needs a task plane. I think that's on by default. Um, let's see what else. Selection filter, and I'll show you how to do that. That's a little bit more advanced thing, but every now and then your selection filter gets triggered, and if you don't know where to find it,
Mhm.
it is super annoying to try to figure out how to turn off the selection filter. Like sometimes I think some of the filters are actually connected to keystrokes, and
Okay.
sometimes you'll fumble around on the keyboard and accidentally have a selection filter turned on, and you don't want it. But anyways, so selection filter, it'll also help you with the modeling and stuff.
Okay.
Quick snaps. I don't really use this that much. I could turn it off, but every now and then it's like once in a blue moon it's nice to have. Motion manager, that is when I was doing a lot more like machine design. You can do motion studies and animate stuff.
Okay.
We don't really do much with it. Actually, this mold tools might be kind of fun, but configurations, and I think that's pretty much it.
Okay. Uh, customize and shortcut bars. You said combine Combine. There we go. How do I drag it? What do I drag it? Okay. Just drag it there. Okay. So combine, what else?
Combine, intersect.
Okay. Intersect. Got it.
Split.
Is that already up there? Oh, they're already up there. Technically. I don't think split's up there, but
Hmm.
combine and stuff is already up there. The combine's not.
You can always find any of these commands too, like up here in this command bar. I could type in split and it would
Okay.
show me the split command. And I think you could actually drag it from that menu onto your toolbar or your ribbon.
Okay. How'd you?
Oh
It's already
yeah, so
there.
you might, yeah, command manager. You want to turn that guy on.
Okay.
And then you could just come up here and then just type in all these, like delete, keep body. You could show it, or you could just drag it onto the ribbon. Oh, you know what? This might be actually kind of handy. I think you can pull it onto the, can you not pull it onto the thing? Oh yeah, yeah,
Delete
you
face.
can. Yeah. Oh, I don't want that one. Shit.
I think yeah. Maybe just drag it or something. That's what I did.
Yeah. So delete / keep body.
Oh. Delete / keep body.
Drag that.
Okay. What else?
Move / copy bodies.
No, just copy bodies. That's gonna be very helpful. Okay.
Yeah, that one's super helpful. Mirror, obviously, I don't know if that comes default,
It
but that
does.
one's, yeah, okay. And then these two are just, they're like, I don't really use them that much. You don't need them. Scale is helpful every now and then. Like sometimes you want to scale up a part,
Uh-huh.
but I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Okay.
That one for the longest time, I just came up here and I just typed scale and I just selected it from there because I use it once in a while.
Okay.
In terms of like, so the reference geometry, I think that one comes default on your ribbon. But curves is also, I use this every now and then.
Okay.
So
Curves. Okay.
yeah, and I do like composite curves a lot, and then I do curves through reference points and helical and spiral curves. So, but yeah, anyways, you got that set up. Does it kind of look like my workspace here?
Somewhat. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks much better than it did before.
Oh yeah, down here too, turn on blocks. I forgot about blocks. That's a sketch. That's something for sketching that's really helpful.
Where did I do that at?
I would just come here, say toolbars, blocks,
Toolbars, blocks.
and that'll give
Yeah,
you
it's
this guy
on.
down here.
Yeah, it's on. All right, got it.
Yeah, so okay, cool. So let's look at bringing that screw in. So we got that screw model from Master Car, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, Control Tab. I don't know, did I show you this last time? Control
Don't
Tab.
know.
You can
I
switch
think.
through all your SolidWorks windows.
Oh yeah, you did.
Let's look at. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to here. Okay, cool. Yeah, like we've got this screw model. Great. I already see a problem though. So this is 6 millimeters. I don't think our enclosure is actually 6 millimeters tall.
Yeah.
So actually, let's go back out to McMaster-Carr real quick. Let's see what they got. Okay, so 4 millimeters looks like the smallest length. Let's just go ahead and grab that model. We'll open it up from our downloads folder here.
Okay.
Double click on it. Okay, boom. There we go. So there's our little tiny screw. Dude, this thing is like micro mini.
Yeah.
We're gonna come up here to insert, come down to part, and we'll go to this one, and it's our little tiny screw. Now, transfer options. We want to transfer the solid bodies. We want to transfer surface bodies, axes, planes. The axes and planes are really the important one. And actually, we don't even really need body material or part material. This will give you this will pop up an error message. Don't worry about any of this. It's not super important. The important thing about insert part, you come down here before you click in your model space, click your part. The most important thing is locate part. Is this box checked? It should be checked. Because now when you go ahead and just drop it into your model space, it'll pull up the locate part.
Okay.
And so now we want to mate this like we would mate something in an assembly. You've done mates in an assembly.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, so it's the same dealio, but it's just in a part now. Like we're combining parts together. So
Okay.
we could actually come here and just say like, hey, this diameter here, which actually is not a diameter. So wait, let's clear
the back. I got it. Sorry.
Okay.
I really gotta go.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna start the recording again.
All right.
And I'll just share my SolidWorks here. So yeah, so we left off. We're gonna actually insert and locate this part here. And so I'll just like an assembly, right? Like I'll grab like this outer diameter here, and we'll just set it concentric to the inner diameter here. Okay, and we'll just flip the mate alignment with this option down here, and we'll just say add. So this one's a little bit more clunky where you have to hit this add button when you're done with the mate thing. It's not as simple as just hitting enter like when you're doing an assembly. So we'll just select this face here and we'll mate it with like, I guess the top of the circuit board, and we'll hit add again. And I mean, that's pretty much all we need. So we can just green check mark that. And let's just double check that our hole is deep enough. So I'll just take a cross section plane and I'll move it into the part and I'll see, okay, yeah, we're not actually quite that deep. So this screw actually wouldn't really work here. So let's just, I mean, we're already kind of minimized everything. Let's just make this hole go all the way through. So we'll come down here. I'm going to come down in my feature tree and just hover over these different features. And I'll find, aha, okay, here we go. This is the one. And actually, you know what I can do? I can just say screw hole. I'll just rename it. So now I can just find this. If I ever need to modify it again, I'll just call this one the screw hole. And let's edit the feature. We don't need to edit the sketch. We'll edit the feature though. And we'll say instead of blind, let's just go through all. And it'll just go straight through. So yeah, so that's looking good. And actually it should do that, yep, on the back, on the other hole too. And we've kind of already validated that this screw works. Oh yeah, let me show you something here. So if I bring this, why is it? Yeah, it's weird. Let's do 12.5. So you see here, the whole diameter, the threads actually cut into the part, and
Yeah.
they form their own threads, right? So this material that is actually it's not actually getting cut, it's getting kind of pushed away, but it gets pushed into this area right here, right? So these screws are like really highly developed, highly engineered components, and they work great. So yeah, it looks like we got enough clearance here. We actually probably could have gotten away. Well, no, I already know on this part you can't. You got to use this screw. But anyways, so okay, cool. So I mean, yeah, for what we got, we've got somewhat of an enclosure. I want to show you a couple of more advanced things. So so what I want to do is let's go, let's look at this part, we'll X-ray it. And we want to interface with this USB-C port, right? So let's create a feature. I'm going to create a feature for this USB-C port. I'm going to type on my keyboard L, and that'll bring up line, the line command. And I'll do Alt C, and that'll select for construction, and it'll make a construction line. And then I'll do Alt I, and it'll be infinite length construction line. And these are great for kind of establishing like symmetrical sketches, right?
Yeah.
So let's do something like this, where I kind of like come in here and I go here. Now notice too, my origin is in the middle of my part, because this part is somewhat hold on, give me 1 second.
Okay.
My mom's neighbor is actually giving away some tools. He's built his garage out as a woodworking shop, and he's giving away a drill press. And my mom
Drill
asked me,
press.
yeah, dude, I'm getting a drill press.
Okay.
Oh my God, he's actually just giving it away.
You're lucky, man. I want a
Dude,
drill press, to be honest.
I
Does
need
he
a
have an
drill
extra
press.
one?
I'll go over there. I'm gonna go over there tonight, actually. I told my mom I'll be over there tonight.
All right.
Um,
Man, something this neighborhood's getting.
I know. Okay, anyways. So yeah, so I'm gonna make this infinite construction line. We'll come down here. Let's create a feature that will kind of get us closer to this USB-C port. So what I'll do here, let's just make a nice little curve here. Yeah, dimensions don't really matter so much. Let's just do something pretty. I'm going to select all these lines, and then I'm going to control select this line. And if I do that properly, select this one, control select, and then I'll get this option here. And you may have to build out this menu too, because
Okay.
normal to is a really handy one. Don't do it right now. But mirror entities, I think that one comes default. So I can just quickly mirror these entities here. Okay, so I'm not even going to worry about enclosing this sketch. Let's try it like this. Let's try this real quick. I'm going to actually extrude this line, right? And so here we're going to get a thin feature, right? It's going to say, hey, this will just be a thin feature, and it'll give it a default width of like 10 millimeters. Let's actually go. Actually, we know we need this to be 2 millimeters thick. The wall thickness needs to be 2 millimeters. And we'll just extrude this up through here and pay attention to where the thickness is going. Yeah, let's go that way. We're not going to merge the results. And we don't actually care about how far, because I'll show you what we're going to do with this. Okay, so boom, it did a solid body. And it kind of looks goofy right now, but check this out. So this is its own, okay, so selection filter, right? This is why I have the selection filter here. Filter solid bodies. So now when I click on anything, it'll just highlight that entire solid body, which is really handy sometimes. Because sometimes I just want to say like, hey, did this feature accidentally get merged with this? Like sometimes I forget to unmerge results or merge results or whatever. So this is a quick little tool for figuring that out. And it looks like, yeah, that's its own solid body. Cool. So let's do, well, first of all, I kind of want to hide everything else. So I'm going to select this guy. We could actually filter solid bodies. This guy, control click that guy. I only want these two. Right click anywhere, isolate. Okay, so it hides everything else. Okay, brilliant. So actually I'm gonna intersect these two parts. So let's do that. That intersect is also kind of a clunky command where you have to come over here and click the intersect button. Okay, so check this out. So let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. And actually, that should be good to go. So now if we turn our circuit board on, dude, this almost comes right up to the circuit board. So actually, you know what we could do is come back to this extrusion, and we could say this line probably want it to come like let's just call it like oh, you know why? Because yeah, let's do this. So let's just pick a point here. And let's call this like 0.2. And actually, let's make this a little bit wider. Let's make sure that radius. Let's do something crazy like that. Okay, cool. Actually, you know, I mean, let's do like 1.5. Let's make it a little bit thinner. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. Let's sketch here. We'll go into X-ray mode. Okay, this is going to be a little bit tricky. Let's go, yeah, like 0.3 millimeters offset. Let's try to select all the lines. And actually, you can go into like 3D mode here. Just select the very outer edge of the USB-C port. Okay, so see there's a split here, whatever, we don't care. Oh, wait, we do care. No, not that one. This one, this line, this line. Okay, so check this out. We'll just drag this guy over. Look, fully enclosed sketch now. And it's just 0.3 millimeters larger than the actual USB-C port. This will help us insert one of these cables into the hole there. You need to have a slight clearance there. So we'll do that. Extrude. You know, the depth of the cut extrude doesn't matter as long as we go through the other edge. And so we can do that by selecting the feature scope and just saying like, hey, only this cut extrude only applies to the outer cover, the front cover. So we'll just do that. Boom. Now we have a hole. Go back into regular mode. And now we have, oh, well, oops, hold on. So it's almost perfect. It looks like what we need to do here is kind of trim this edge a little bit, which no problem. Let's, on this face, we'll do another sketch. And let's actually just, we'll go, what was it supposed to be, like 0.2. Let's do this. Let's actually hide this for now. And then we'll just do this line, this edge, and this edge. Oops, this edge. Oops, selected something wrong here. Okay. And then we'll just pay attention to these arrows here. Oh, see, I don't know what the heck. -0.2. Yeah, I'll push it out there. Another little trick. Let's just bring that line out. We'll bring that line out. Doesn't really matter. We could set them so that they move with each other. They're horizontally constrained. Let's just bring them out here like that, and we'll say, okay, I'm going to show you another command, another advanced command. Let's go back. Let's look at our base plate here. Let's look at the sketch, and we're going to do something called the split command. So I'm going to just isolate. Oops, it's the wrong command. I'm going to turn off my camera for a second.
All right.
Stop video. It's slowing down a little bit. Okay, so I actually just want to isolate this guy. Let's just look at the base plate. Let's look at that sketch that we just drew. Let's bring him up. And now we're going to do split. So this is just going to, we could use sketches as kind of like a knife path, like a knife path. And we can say, we can cut bodies into multiple bodies. So a single body can get split into 2 different bodies. So trim tools, we're going to select this sketch. Okay, and then selected bodies. I mean, we're in isolate right now. We're in the isolate feature, so it doesn't really matter. But we're going to select that guy, and we're going to come here and say cut bodies. And check it out. We have 2 different bodies now. And what's great about this is we've got this option here, consume cut bodies. If we unselect it, we'll just get 2 different bodies. So we'll turn these guys purple, and it'll just give us 2 different bodies. But if we say consume cut bodies, and we only select this guy, then when we hit enter, it cuts them.
Okay.
So now if we look at everything else, we exit the isolate, boom, now our base plate fits perfectly within the front cover, and we've got a USB port. So now we've got pretty much a fully fledged electronics enclosure here. We could do this move copy body. And check this out. So we've got so we can do this move copy body, and this is like kind of like the assembly mate.
Yeah.
But we've got other options here, which is translate rotate. And we can just take this guy here and move him in space. You gotta be kind of careful with this though. And this guy, hit enter again. And it'll go back into this last command that you did and drag him down. And say, okay. Same thing with the little screw. Bring him up. So boom, now you got an exploded view. And we can render it real quick. Come in here and look at all this stuff. Let's put some textured plastic on it. We'll go with the MT11050 for the top cover here. Maybe we'll do like a soft touch cream on the base plate. And then we'll do the screw in steel. We'll make them brush steel. Body, select the whole body there. And then actually I want to do real quick view scene, lights, camera, scene, I think it's environment, bottom view plane, selected plane. That's so intrusive. Let's just do that plane. Okay, so now, yeah, all of our shadows should fall on that bottom plane. So now we've got a pretty cool, we can screenshot this. We can take some pictures. We can play around with the lights here a little bit.
Okay.
Something like that. And then we can put it all back together.
Okay.
See that?
Yeah.
That's how we do enclosures. And that's actually a lot of what we do. I mean, product development, consumer products, stuff like that. A lot of it is working with electrical engineers and taking some cool electronics and then creating the whole product around those electronics, right? The electronics kind of give it the soul, the body, or the soul, right?
Yeah.
And we kind of give it the body and the aesthetics, the looks, the appeal and stuff like that. So, I mean, obviously we do a lot of like machine design and mechanisms and functional stuff too, but a majority of our work is just, creating cool enclosures, cool products for electronics and stuff like that. I mean, this is just a perfect example right here.
Yeah.
I am gonna have another kind of training project. Parker is the electrical engineer that's working with us right now. He's actually developing a Bluetooth speaker kind of kit.
Okay.
And so we'll actually make what I want to do is use these techniques that I've showed you here today, and basically create. I'm going to show you my video, like one of these wireless Bluetooth speakers.
Yeah.
So Parker is actually developing the board
Uh-huh.
and the speaker, and we'll get models of those, and then I'm going to task you with creating an enclosure for that Bluetooth speaper.
I got you.
So that's coming up. We're still working on that. I think, you'll take this training and move forward and do that project, and it'll be a lot easier for you. But yeah, I mean, that's basically some of the the it's more advanced stuff than you'll learn in school, and even that you'll see in industry. I mean, not that you're you know um, there yet. I mean, you still got to get through college
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah,
But
sure.
this will be good training to supplement on top of what you're learning in school. And I mean, if you've got ideas for parts or something for a project that you're working on, you can use these methods to get much more complex geometry. Um, than just your standard extrude and revolve and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, man. You got any questions?
Um, when do I start the circuit thing? Or wait,
Yeah, so it's
there we
actually getting a
go.
little bit late right
Yeah.
now. I will send you over. Let's can we start on it tomorrow
Yeah.
afternoon when you get home? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll get the file set up and everything, and then we can kind of run through it real quick.
Okay.
And then I can just kind of let you carry it forward and stuff like that. But I got to run.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we'll get started on that pretty soon. So tomorrow, I'm going to send you the file for this training. You can review it if you want.
All right. Thank you, man.
And yeah, and then we'll just go from there. How about that?
All right, but yeah, I got
Okay,
you.
cool. All right,
All right.
man.